Hey Steve, welcome to the MasterCard Cup. Just want to give you an opportunity here to view your swing at regular speed. We'll let that play on through, put you back in your dress position, and we'll go ahead and take a look at a few things for you. So while we got you back here in your setup, let's take a look at your posture. Now your spine's relatively straight through the lower portion here, which is good. Spine's a little vertical. Legs come down into a nicely unlocked position. You do hold your arms considerably out in front of you and the club works out to the ball. So I would like to change your posture just a little bit. I would basically get you to sort of push your tail out and up, push your sternum out, up and forward. What that's going to do, it's just going to put your spine on a better angle. It'll also straighten it out as much as possible. From here you can keep your legs unlocked as they are. And then let's get your arms to hang down so your hands get a little closer to your thighs. Let the club work out at that point, increasing the angle relationship between your arms and your golf club in here. So that would be ideal. Taking you from red, where you're a little tall, maybe a little rounded, arms being held out in front of you a bit too much, into a little bit of a better position where the spine's on a better tilt and we have a better relationship between the arms and the golf club. At this point in time, also want to take a look at your alignment. Feet are a little bit closed. Feet are aiming out to the left. Carry that out towards the intended target. Now, theoretically, your club face is supposed to run parallel to your feet. Parallel lines on camera will have an appearance to converge. And with that philosophy in mind, we can see that you're set up right down the left edge of the fairway, out towards the left rough. So there's going to have to be some form of a compensation to try and get that ball back to the center of the fairway. So you're either going to swing the club on plane, start the ball pretty much at blue, and hopefully flip the hands to create some form of a draw or hooking action back on line. At this point in time, let's do a little split screen comparison between you and Jordan Spieth. Now we'll flip Jordan over to left-handed to mirror image you. Got some color-coded lines on the screen just to use as a visual reference as it pertains to swing plane. On the left side of the screen, we initiate our takeaway by creating good shoulder rotation, bring the arms and hands back as well as the club. And we want to see the club coming back along the red line on plane. Also in the early stages of the golf swing, we have to incorporate good wrist hinge into play, which means we're going to transition the club head from being below and in front of our hands to getting the club head above and behind our hands. This is a very important move in a golf swing. From here, we're going to work the golf club from red up towards yellow. When we finally set the club up at the top of the backswing, we either want to have the right arm of the club situated on the yellow line, anywhere in between the blue-yellow V zone, or physically up on blue as we see with Jordan Spieth. We also want to create full shoulder rotation, and we want to do this about a very stable left leg while maintaining the posture axis we created in our spine to start with, which we had mentioned with you we might want to revise a little bit. As you watch you initiate your takeaway here, your hands draw back very nicely, turning your shoulders. But you draw your hands, arms, and golf club too far inside, and that's why we see the club moving inside underneath the red line. This is not a huge deal as long as we incorporate some good wrist hinge here shortly, where we're getting the club head above the hands and also behind. So here we go. Club head's getting behind. It's got to get above, so good. A little bit more hinge, club will start to recover. I can see you have improper wrist hinge. You're sort of turning your right hand away from you and underneath, so the Velcro strap of your glove is sort of facing the ground a little too much. So discussing proper wrist hinge in your golf swing would be imperative. As we continue to move back here, looks like the club's recovered in pretty decent position. Again, your right hand's really turning away from you. Velcro strap is facing us here. So unfortunately, we're not creating proper wrist hinge, but you are getting wrist hinge into play with this sort of bowing right wrist. At this point in time, you've created a really good turn, stable left side. You've maintained the posture axis you achieved at address. Your arm geometry is perfect relative to your core, still like the triangular position you have with your arms. Your right arm's pretty much right up on yellow, so you're on the lower half of where we want you, which is fine. I actually prefer amateur players to be more on yellow than the blue because it's easier for us to return the club to plane. The club's in excellent position relative to your arms. So everything looks really good here. Only thing that could improve is just how you're setting the club with the hands with proper wrist hinge. From here, as we create our transition back in the ball, simply want to move our weight from our left foot to our right foot. We want to fire our knees and our hips laterally to the target. We want to unwind our core, and we want to fire our hands. And in doing so, we have to make sure we're bringing the golf club from the blue, yellow V zone, wherever we set it, and bringing the club back onto red, which is where the club originated. And that's exactly what we can see here with Jordan Spieth. The club is returned back to plane. The other thing we want to observe at this stage of the golf swing is a relationship between the lead forearm and the golf club. I refer to this as a check mark position. This simply means the club head right now is remaining above and behind his hands coming into the hitting zone. This is what's going to allow us to create a lot of power in our golf swing. Aside from the fact he's also going to hit the ball straight due to the fact that the club is returned back to plane, which is a main criteria in producing straight golf shots. So let's watch your transition back into the ball. Hands and arms drop beautifully. Feet, knees, and hips are working. This looks really, really good. So basically at this point in time, what we can see is between your lead forearm and your golf club, let me do that in the same color as we did with Jordan. Between your lead forearm and your golf club, you have your backwards check mark. The other great thing is your golf club has also returned back to plane. So looks really, really good. So the nice thing here is you're going to be able to create power, and you should be able to hit the ball straight based on your alignment. Unfortunately, your alignment was aimed down the left side. So in order for you to get the ball back to the center, you have to create a compensation. Well, there's only three things that cause us to hit straight shots: alignment, downswing plane, and club face. So we see your alignment's out to the left, so that's where you're going to hit the ball if you bring the club down on plane, which you are. So how are you going to get the ball back to the red flag? Well, you're going to have to flip the hands. You're going to have to get the club face closed at impact. So as you come into this golf ball from on plane, let's see what your club face does. Club face looks open here, and it stays open. So unfortunately, not only are you going to start the ball out to the left where you're aimed, the ball's going to go even further left because the club face did not square up through the impact zone. That could be a byproduct of your grip. Maybe one of your hands is a little too weak. I'm not talking pressure, I'm talking position. So a weak grip produces open faces. Or maybe you just don't really understand how to use your hands and forearms through the hitting zone so the club face squares up and releases. Although it is releasing a little bit after the ball, it's just too late now. And we can see the ball definitely heading left. And very likely staying there because I don't think he imparted any left or right spin on the ball. You come through to a pretty good finish. Overall, some really nice athletic qualities in your golf swing. I mean, your hands work real well. They come back, they fire through. Your core works well. You coil, you uncoil. You've got great footwork allowing you to get through to a good finish. Your alignment's obviously a little left, so there's a chance you might hit the ball there. Downswing plane is perfect. So now you do have an ability to hit the ball straight based off that alignment. So now, if you want to get the ball back to the center of the fairway, you got to flip your hands. So we can see here that, you know, a lot of your golf shots are just going to come down to timing. Because we're misaligned, well, we can lose the ball left. Because we bring the club down on plane, we should be able to hit some really good quality golf shots. And the best golf shots we will hit is when the club face squares up or over releases a little through impact. Because obviously what we actually need to do here is hit a bit of a draw. We want to start the ball where we're aimed, but we want to impart a little bit of left to right spin so the ball can draw back towards the center of the fairway. So the best thing here for you obviously would be to have the club face a little bit closed at impact. Make sure we're releasing that club. But at the end of the day, you know, we really want to make sure the aim is good. At that point in time, your downswing plane is already great. So then we can go ahead and, you know, take a look at, you know, why is your club face open? Is it due to the grip? Is it due to not understanding release? You know, what is it? But if our alignment's better, then we can also hit the ball more on line because the club is coming down on plane. At that point in time, you know, let's understand the club face. Anyways, doing a great job. If at any point in time you want to, you know, fine tune any of these aspects of your golf game, I'm located over at Glen Abbey in Oakville. Be happy to structure a program for you. Also, if you're involved with any golf tournaments at all, you guys are looking for a unique gift to provide your guests, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to discuss my swing analysis services. Anyways, hope you had a super day. And I hope you enjoyed getting an opportunity to see your swing on video. Take care.